picture of what the new Freedom Pad. It's built now, but at the time I went in 2007, where it was open there. And I have a picture.
All right, how do I get the link on my phone?
I'll send it to you.
You got my number?
For me, I was surprised too. I was like, this is not a building. When I walk, literally, because there's that mall around there. Go and like we stick our pants out. It's like, is that real?
Yeah.
We're like, no way. Like we just looked at it and we just like you literally have to like put your neck to see how tall that building
Oh, I see something here. Is this
yeah,
it?
but it was
That's the salad school.
Okay,
Oh, you're in the group, right? I can send it in the group.
okay. This is on April 9.
I'll send it in the group.
Are you in this group?
Yeah, I'm in the group. Let me send it in the group.
Which one are you?
You can see.
but the UAE to there and another one. It's I guess like the area where they like clean up the old size. Like
Oh, you must be this one because I don't have you in.
Yeah.
You must be the
it was literally like
There it is.
Perfect. So that's you. So if I put in Rodney.
You'll see.
refineries. And it's down, it's like 30 minutes drive.
So let's stand here.
Well, then you can see everything. All over there, and that was the main. Like if you drive into it, there's acres of just the airport. Oh my god! No, actually, it's an air base. So it was the Koreans, the Americans, French, the German, more that were there. But oh my goodness, like there's the aerial and like it's so short that no one planned that it was. I was just amazed. It's just
You saw somebody can land.
yeah, that was
The shipping company or if you were in we had to go
He got the most experience, 31 years. I don't argue with experience.
rent a house. So
My boy.
they didn't have to. We had to be transported from Dublin.
And then all of a sudden we'll be like really good program that works on everybody's side. And I think central. And I have a lot of these like places, so it's and it generates like a lot of funds. Like
This was something like
it's
it's the best way. I'm sorry. Hi.
yeah, it's my
You can write your name and name on here and anything in particular.
I'm from Pennsylvania. She's actually original from
Yes, I.
No, we met, we used to work together at a chocolate factory, the Hershey's, and it was,
Welcome,
yeah, yeah,
welcome everyone. And welcome Lisa to our class. And the others around here, Melvise and Charles. We've got Sandy and Shirley and Linda. We've got Gina, Pamela, or Amy. We've got Bonnie and Wayne. We've got Ronnie's new wife, or wife,
Yasmin.
Yasmin, and my friend Barbara. And I'm Brenda, this is my husband Bill. And for those of you that don't know us, we have worked in natural lifestyle centers, New York, Canada, Oklahoma, and we were taught how to use natural remedies to help people get well. Mainly using herbs, good plant-based nutrition, and water. And we all have water. We all have towels and washcloths. We all have different natural remedies we can be using. We highly recommend you always have lemons and limes on hand, that you have some cayenne on hand, and that you have some simple remedies that are going to be your medicine cabinet. And what I have here, and I'll share a few more things about it, but this is my medicine cabinet. These are empty bottles of the stuff I use. But my medicine cabinet is teas, ginger crystals, and all types of things that we normally use for indigestion, upset stomach, nausea, and we want to show you how to use these things in a much better way, to use other things that won't cause you harm. Because the original Hippocratic Oath from the medical doctors was, do no harm. Is that true today? No. Most of the time, it's an automatic prescription, and it's something that will actually harm you. And so our plan is, in an emergency situation, get medical care, get a diagnosis, get treated, but that should only be acute, short term. Like for me, I tried those pain pills, made me sick. So I went to all natural aspirin, which is a combination of 20 ingredients that's anti-inflammatories, and that's helped me the most. And then I had peppermint oil spray on my pain. I broke my wrist very badly. So by putting spray on there, whenever I have sharp pain, it stops it instantly. They recommended Voltaren gel. Well, Voltaren gel is really strong, and it actually affects your liver. Or if you do Aleve, it affects your intestines, causes bleeding in the intestines. If you use ibuprofen, it causes bleeding in the stomach. The same with aspirin. Too much aspirin could cause bleeding in the stomach. So much better to use white willow bark. So for everything you might use medicinally, look up Natural Alternative 2, and God will help you find it. And I recommended a book last week. I was going to bring mine, but I'm moving, so I don't know where it is. But it's called Prescription for Nutritional Healing by Phyllis Balch, B-A-L-C-H. The best encyclopedic reference I've ever seen. Vitamins, minerals, natural modalities of treatment, what your disease process might be, what the normal medical treatment would be, describes anatomically and everything, what condition you have, and then it has the most important things to take. And it's herbal, and vitamins, and nutrition, and water, whatever. It's the best I've ever seen. I love that book. I used it for years on the radio. I had a radio show with Rick, and we've done over 300 shows. I use that resource the most out of any of the other resources, besides the Bible. Phyllis Balch, B-A-L-C-H. I think you got it. Yeah, you did. Phyllis. Phyllis, and it's Prescription for Nutritional Healing.
I forgot. I should have thought. I didn't even think.
You have one?
Yes,
Could you
I'll
bring yours next week?
Yes, I will.
Because my things are in flux right now, people. I'm in a frog room above the garage. We're trying to move into our other house. We don't have a kitchen or bathrooms right now. So I'm in 3 different places. Stuff was in a pod, stuff's in a garage in boxes. So it's okay. It's okay. The Lord's got me. Okay. Anyway, so I recommend that you look up for yourself. Because again, I'm going to reiterate. When you're given a diagnosis, how you treat your body is up to you. It's your God-given right to decide on natural treatments. And I will tell you, natural treatments, 15, 20, 30 years from now, your liver and your kidneys will be okay. You do the intense medical treatments with a lot of strong chemicals, Your liver and your kidneys are going to suffer, and down the road you're going to have problems. So, again, all right. Well, let's have prayer. Should I offer prayer?
Dear Father in heaven, we just thank you for the opportunity for us to get together to share about your natural remedies and many of the things that you've given us that grow around us and we're able to have access to very freely. We ask you to be with us as we share our experiences and that people would have receptive minds to think about trusting in you for all things. Bless this time now we have together. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. In the first class, I talked to you about cleansing. Whenever you start any type of change, it's good to fast. Fasting is okay, especially for at least one day. And my best fast is then the master cleanse. I'm going to show you how to do it. Bill's going to have to help me cut the lemon. We'll show you how to make it. And it's not difficult. You just got to make sure you have all the ingredients. Yeah, bring that up too. I was going to mention that. But I'm going to talk to you a few minutes about why fast. And if you want to take a picture of this, you can. Then you'll have all the notes. Okay, you have it on your phone and you don't have to write it. So, why fast? You can fast on lemonade. You can fast on watermelon, lemons. You can fast from harmful foods. A lot of people came to Katie's. They went on a 40-day Daniel fast. Well, they ate everything, right? They'd eat meats and all. So a Daniel fast was what? They switched to vegetables and water, like Daniel and his friends. And we know in the Bible they were 10 times smarter, right? They graduated top of their class, and they proved that they didn't have to eat the king's dainties. Remember, they were kidnapped from their homeland, brought to Babylon. And Babylon, what do? They have all these students, these young men, they want to train up in their school. And these men said, we're not going to disobey God. We're going to honor him and pray 3 times a day, and we're going to eat the food God gave us, and we only want to eat the vegetarian food, the vegetables and water. And so the guy in charge of them said, oh, but they might, I'll be in trouble. I will die if you guys get sick. And they said, well, test us for 10 days. So they made sure they stayed on that Daniel fast for 10 days. And Daniel and his friends were smarter, wiser. Their faces looked clear and shiny. What about them eating the heavy meats, the desserts, and the alcohol? The friends that came with them, did they look as good? Did they have shiny complexion? Were they as sharp and alert? No, because they disobeyed the laws of God. But Daniel and his friends stayed true to the laws of God, and they were the top of their class. So again, fasting is important. You can fast from harmful media, music. Fast from certain people. You can fast from anything toxic in your life. And you can choose for the next 30 days, I'm fasting from this. For the next 30 days, I'm fasting from anything with sugar in it. For the next 30 days, I'm making sure I have no caffeine. For the next 30 days, nothing stimulating. For the next 30 days, I'm not even going to go on any type of media. I'm going to stay listening to God. I'm going to read my Bible, and for the next 30 days, I'm going to make sure I walk every day. You know what I mean? You can make fasts for yourself from certain things. And what it does is it challenges you. A great way to do it is to actually have a friend do it with you. So say, for the next 30 days, this is what we're doing. Our son Ethan, our youngest, we had 7. Ethan was our youngest, and he and his friend Trevor were just best friends growing up. They got baptized together in their teens. And when they got older, they said, we're fasting from women, so they we're dating for a while. We're going to fast from sugar. We're going to fast from drinking sodas. They would do that to each other. They'd challenge each other. I thought, that's really cool to have a good friend. We're going to fast from smoking or drinking. So they just weren't going to do any of it. They made that commitment to each other. And so I thought that was really neat, that these 2 friends. So if you have a good friend, challenge each other to do those things. Okay, and I can stand this way too so they can see it. All right. Anyway, you do realize if you don't eat between meals and at least 4.5 to 5 hours between eating and drink only water in between, your body will be emptied of food residue before bed and you'll rest better. So you can technically fast between meals by not snacking. If any of you want that sheet, I have eating between meals, what it does to your digestion. I read it before, but I'll repeat. If you eat something in between, you have residue from breakfast, can be 9, 11, or 13 hours later. When you're supposed to be resting and going to bed, you're still digesting breakfast if you snack in between. So eat at set times, chew slowly and well, eat for 20 to 30 minutes, then you're done. And in between meals, you drink only water. And you can do herbal tea without sweetener in it, because anything with food or sweetener, it stimulates your digestion again. But herbal tea plain, so if you want to drink herbal tea all day, you can. Fruit, if you go on a fruit fast, you can eat every 20 minutes. But it takes 4.5 to 5 hours for the stomach to empty, so you need to leave that length of time between meals. Is that important to understand? Really important. So I want to make sure if you don't have the eating between meals handout, make sure you get that. I also have this fasting recipe on 2 handouts, one large print, one small print, and if you did not get that, you're going to get that. I also have the handout for how to do who's who of the pH crew. Some of you wrote down you have pain and inflammation. Well, pain is caused by acid in your life. And last week I mentioned about the 0 to 14 pH. Acid is from 0 to 7 is acidic, 7 is neutral, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is alkaline. If your foods and diet are more alkaline, then your body doesn't have to leach minerals out of your bones to alkalize the acid in your life. Now what's acid? Worry, stress, water, meats, dairy, sugar, not water, sugar. Those are things that are very acid. Coffee, caffeine, sodas, things like that are very acidic. So when you consistently eat those things, drink those things, what happens is your body has to say, wait, blood is 7.65 pH. I need to neutralize the acid. How does your body neutralize acid? With minerals. Where do those minerals come from? Your bones and your teeth. So the people that drink those things and eat that way, they're going to have rotten teeth, porous bones, women especially with hormonal changes, osteoporosis. You don't want porous bones. You don't want your teeth to have holes in them. Save a lot at the dentist. If you stay more neutral and alkaline, your body doesn't have to grab minerals. I'm talking about the chemistry lab you have in your body that is so amazingly, you are so fearfully and wonderfully made that your body will automatically balance itself. If you're too acidic, you could die. If you're too alkaline, you could die. But staying more in the middle. So if you eat fresh fruits and vegetables, they tend to be slightly alkaline. Your body doesn't have to leach things out of your bones to make you alkaline. Understand that? So the minerals will neutralize the acid. The more acid you do on this side of the pH scale, the worse for your bones, the worse for your teeth, the worse for your brain, everything. So you want to keep it near the middle, and you want to drink plenty of water. Fresh water is much better than any of those other sweet things. Okay? So good idea. All right. So back to this. Having a break from eating gives the body, your interdigestive housekeeper, a time to cleanse, heal, and repair. Skipping a meal, preferably supper, for weight loss and better rest at night can be beneficial as well. We met people that ate 2 meals a day. I had a medical doctor. Her father was a Filipino Seventh-day Adventist pastor, and they only ate 2 meals a day. And so she would eat a really good breakfast, like at 10 in the morning, and then another really good lunch at 3 or 4, and that's it. So in between, you had plenty of time to digest and heal, and before bed, you didn't have your stomach full of food. Why do we have supper? Because people work 9 to 5 and come home and try to eat a heavy supper. Why not eat breakfast a little later, eat a really good breakfast? So you drink your water, you do your stretching, you have your worship time, and then you eat a light supper, a really good breakfast and a light supper. If you eat 3 meals a day, if you eat breakfast early enough, then 4.5 to 5 hours later, eat lunch. Then 4.5 to 5 hours later, you can eat supper. But supper should be several hours before bedtime. You shouldn't be eating at 8, 9, or 10 o'clock at night. You should be winding down and go to bed by 10. The latest you should ever eat would be 6 or 7. You don't want to eat later than that, okay? When you're traveling or things happen, sometimes things change. But try to keep to that routine as much as you can, and that will help your digestion. All right. When fasting, having the master cleanse can really, really help. And also when you're fasting, you may want a day to relax. So pick your easiest day of the week. You know, you pick what day you usually want to relax. You don't have any appointments, nothing going on. And in the morning, if you look up the master cleanse, which is what I'm sharing with you, they do a seawater flush in the morning. You make a solution with salt water. You take like a quart of water and you put about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt in there, and you shake it up, warm it up in warm water, and you let it dissolve, and you drink that down as fast as you can. It's like drinking broth, but you drink it down as fast as you can, and what it does is it flushes your colon, and your entire system will go whoosh, and so you have liquidy stool coming out. And that's a good way to start this. So you can try that as well. But the solution should taste like your tears. You can look up mermaid flush or seawater flush, and it'll tell you the exact proportions, but it's just slightly water. And I usually do 1 quart, and you can have a 2nd quart on hand in case the 1st quart didn't work. But make sure there's nothing in your stomach beforehand. You can drink some water when you first wake up, so drink clear water, and then within about 30 minutes you can do the seawater flush. It'll go in your system and flush you out, and you literally will flush. But that's a good way to start a fast or a cleanse, okay? So you can do that as well. But with the master cleanse. So the master cleanse drink, I'm going to show it to you now, so I'll demonstrate it.
Well, the first thing I like to do with the lemons, I like to bruise, soften them a little bit to get more of the juice out of it. So I typically roll them. And these are all.
If you freeze them, you get more juice out of them.
Do you?
Yeah, a lot.
Then it's frozen.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
And we cut them up and try to pull out the pits ahead of time. You eat the pits? I'll save them for you.
I have a strainer.
No, she's gonna eat the pits. I'm gonna eat the string.
Also, if you want to cheat a little, this Santa Cruz organic lemon juice is also good, and the Minute Maid frozen. Comes in a plastic container in the freezer. Minute Maid frozen is 100% lemon juice. Never use the real lemon in the green bottle. It has metabisulfites in it. Sulfites are known to trigger asthmatic attacks in asthmatic patients. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have anything that's chemically when you're trying to fast. So this is 100% pure organic lemon juice, already done for you, but it doesn't taste as good as fresh lemons. And if you can get organic lemons, it's even better. So you can use this as well. And if you come a little this way, hon, the camera can see. Thank you. Sorry. All right, so did you do quarter cup?
No,
I want to show them.
I
Okay,
did have the lemon.
is that a quarter cup?
No.
All right, do another one, please. All right, so anyway, I wanted to show you. This is a quarter cup. So in a quart, on the recipe on the board, I have a half a cup. If you do half a cup of lemon juice, half a cup of maple syrup, and half a gallon of water, those are the proportions. If you use a quart of water, like this, you do a quarter cup of lemon juice and a quarter teaspoon of cayenne. Whereas if it's half a gallon, you do a half a cup of lemon juice and a half a teaspoon of cayenne and a half a cup of maple syrup.
We want to make 50 gallons.
Yeah, 50 ounces, that's what it is.
So let's put
You don't
this,
have an answer for that one?
put the strainer here and let's measure. All right. So one lemon is about a quarter cup. So he already knows because he makes this every Monday. But anyway, so that's an eighth of a cup and half a lemon. The other half a lemon is an eighth of a cup. So you get a quarter cup usually out of one lemon. Unless you freeze them or roll them.
Although I have very dry lemons. You ever buy some lemons and they're just, there's nothing.
All right, so the quarter cup, this is the other part of it. All right? And then, this is already opened. So this one is Anderson's 100% pure maple syrup. This is also 100% from Canada. Canada's even better. But they both are good maple syrups. This family does not use anything. They usually use formaldehyde and stuff to make the trees run better. This is a family that gets the sap out, and I happen to find this at one of the stores.
And the darker maple syrup is better for you. Sometimes it's called grade B
Yeah.
because it has all the minerals and stuff in it. Because you can get the lighter.
This way, because the camera.
Hi.
Now, a quarter cup of maple syrup is going to go into the jar. And the reason I'm demonstrating visually is because you want to see how easy it is to make this lemonade.
I have to do it with my.
Is that hard?
Otherwise I'll spill it. So it has to be visual.
It's like he's making it.
Try again. Ha ha ha, hardy ha ha.
Now this is what I really enjoy. So I put,
You show them how they're supposed to do it, not the way you make it. He makes it really hot. So a quarter cup of lemon, That's just water dripping off. That's all. There you go. Quarter cup of lemon, quarter teaspoon. Okay. And then any of you can try this too. When we're done, we'll give you little cups and you can try it if you want.
Wait, are you guys married?
What?
Are you married?
no, she's just my boss.
Wait, he's the head and I'm the neck. I turn it any way which way I want it to go. This past summer, we celebrated 47 years of marriage. We've had 7 children.
That was my
And
next
I still
question.
can't figure him out.
As Rodney says, she must love me because she finishes all my sentences.
Oh.
That's what I have. And that's what I would take for the day. And typically I would fast Mondays, every Monday. And I would take one of water and one with this lemon water.
Is that better than Gatorade?
Absolutely. This is cleansing and
Cheaper.
healing.
I'm all about cheaper too.
Also, Gatorade in the heat and all is what people drink because it has electrolytes in it, like potassium, magnesium, sodium. Because when you're sweating, you're potentially losing your electrolytes. If you're out in the heat and you drink plain water, you can have Himalayan salt with you. It's pink salt. You put some in your hand, you lick it, and then drink your water. You will actually replace electrolytes as well. What I really like is the Emergency. EMERGEN-C. The Emergency packets, you can find it in raspberry, tangerine, orange. I have those packets with me on a trip. When I'm traveling, I start to feel funky and tired, and I don't have my lemonade with me, I'll fill a jar with water and put in the Emergency, and you shake it up, and it's like drinking kind of like an orangeade or something, but they're nice flavors. I love the raspberry best. He likes the orange. But you drink that all day, and that has B's and C's in it, and just kind of perks you up and replaces what you're losing. You have another one too that you use, right? When you're
There's
hiking.
many of them out there.
Our daughter found one that was good
Yeah.
because the Emergency is sweet. It has fructose in it, but I like it for that because if I'm sweaty and hot and I'm not eating much, it's too hot, I drink that Emergency. It boosts me up in every way. So I really like Emergency, but there's other ones without a lot of sweet in them. If you just want a plain electrolyte builder, but look up electrolytes and you can find them easily. I like the stuff in packets. And the reason I like that is because put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, keep it in your car. You find, oh, I'm missing a meal, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm feeling funky, I'm tired, all of a sudden I'm feeling kind of down. Mix that up, shake it in your water bottle. Have your water bottle with you, put it in there, shake it up and start drinking it. Within 20 minutes, you feel the difference. I had ladies I took care of that would get depressed around evening, sundowners, and I had a little bottle of B vitamins. I just start squirting it under their tongue. So the B vitamins in that are a big boost, plus the electrolytes. So again, you have that with you as an emergency, and you can use it when you're fasting as well. If you want to add that to this, you could. You don't have to, though. So what you're doing when you mix this is the lemon is alkalizing, even though it's an acidic fruit. It's alkalizing to the blood. So the lemon's excellent. It cleanses and flushes your liver and your kidneys. The cayenne is a kickstarter to your heart, helps your circulation, keeps you warm. You think, well, when I'm not eating, I'm going to be cold. No, it increases circulation. So it increases your ability to stay warm in the winter and your ability to cool down faster in the summer. So it increases your circulation. You're only doing this. You're not eating heavy foods, which make you tired. You're not overworking your digestion. It's giving your body a rest. So even if you don't want to do it on the sheet I have, you can do it from 3, 5, 7 to 10 days. If you do this for just 1 day a week, you're giving your body a rest from eating. And that's manageable for most people. The other thing is psychologically. You can eat breakfast if you want. I'd rather do the seawater flush and do this and really get it good. But if you eat breakfast, and then an hour later, a couple hours later, you start the fast, you fast the rest of the day, and you eat breakfast the next day, you've just done a 24-hour fast.
Why do you use the maple syrup?
The maple syrup is to help your brain function. The maple syrup is also very high in minerals. And like you said, the grade B, even darker, is full of trace minerals. So you get the sweet you need. There is another option, which is molasses. Some people use molasses. I found when I mixed it with the prune juice, I mean, it tastes like prune juice to me. So if you like the taste of prune juice, you can do the lemon. But Gina's used the molasses, and she just really likes it. She likes the flavor of it. Molasses is less expensive than maple syrup, but I personally like the lemonade with the maple syrup. You realize when you fast, your brain needs glucose. That's where the glucose comes out of all your sugars and your carbs in your diet, okay? Glucose feeds your brain. If you do this master cleanse with the maple syrup, it gives you the glucose you need to fuel your brain so you can function. This fast is the easiest to do because you can still function. The only difference with this fast is by drinking water in between and only this, you'll find you urinate more because you're flushing your kidneys. You're not having to eat as much. It's not weighing down everything. You flush your kidneys more. And while you're doing this, your urine should be light yellow or clear. It means you're drinking enough water. You have the solution in your system, and you'll be amazed. And it just tastes like spicy lemonade. So it's wonderful.
If you could, everybody take a cup out. I'll give you a little bit to taste
I
it.
think we have little cups. Bonnie, do we have little cups somewhere?
If they have a cup, they're already used.
Little
I
bathrooms?
have some titch,
That's all I'm gonna give you.
just a
You're
tick.
gonna go around.
I don't wanna get a new cup though. is what I'm
No,
saying.
you can.
Yeah.
Now, I typically will bring two jars. One jar I mentioned with clear water,
Ooh, that's spicy.
and the other one with this lemonade.
And he would have even put
And
more.
I would have the lemon on the hour, so sour on the hour. I'd drink 4 ounces. And most people can drink 4 ounces.
And I don't like hot sauce. I ate a lot of spice.
You might have gotten the stuff on the top because it's mine.
Check it out.
Can you shake it up?
I did.
You know, this is not super strict, and usually you keep it at room temperature, but if you're a person that says, I want it cold, then you can chill it, but, chilling it won't absorb as fast. But it's simple, and you can add a little bit more maple syrup, a little more lemon. My husband sometimes adds less maple syrup because he likes it less sweet,
No maple syrup.
but
I've been using that. Brenda, which one gets rid of the mucus?
the cayenne helps, both. The lemon cleanses your liver and stuff, but the cayenne usually helps to kickstart the body for flushing. Both will help.
Yeah.
But fasting will help get rid of the mucus. Gina asked about getting rid of mucus. The cayenne and the lemon and all three will help cleanse the body from mucus, because one of the key things is if you eat mucus producing foods, now you're fasting, your body's going to start flushing out the mucus. So you may find your nose is running more, you're getting stuff cleansed out. That's good. When we had people that came to the lifestyle centers and quit smoking, they would stop smoking one day. That night we'd have a funeral and a coffin, and they had to put their cigarettes in the coffin. So they went through grief. We talked about grieving. They let go of their cigarettes. But the next day, they were coughing. Why? Because while they smoked, their cilia, which is these little tiny cells that flush everything out, push all the mucus out of your system, the cilia are paralyzed with nicotine. So a smoker has paralyzed cilia. They never can get stuff out of their lungs. So that nicotine settles, it starts to scar. I mean, it's really so bad. When young people start smoking, it's so sad. But anyway, any smoking's bad. But when they stop smoking, the cilia start to move. And it starts flushing out the mucus. So the people that we put in the stop smoking programs at the centers, I'm trying to get this, and I almost did it. So the people that came to the lifestyle centers to quit smoking, they were amazed how much mucus they were spitting up and all. We said, your cilia is working now. And we have them walk around the cup. We said, take the cup with you, walk around the cup, and they'd be spitting in the cup all day. And they're seeing all this mucus coming out of their lungs. And they're like, oh, I can't quit smoking, I can't quit. But we gave them steam treatments in a steam bath. We did hot and cold, taught them how to do hot and cold showers. They went on a vegetarian diet to further cleanse mucus out of their bodies. And usually it took about 3 days. The first day when they quit, they slept a lot. Nicotine was a stimulant, and also they were kind of grieving, I think, they're letting go of this habit. You realize the cigarette becomes like a friend, just like our cell phones become like a friend to us. Take away my cell phone, right? But take away my cigarettes, it's pretty upsetting. So they ended up really resting the first day, and then the second day they'd get up and they'd start trying to eat healthy, and we'd have them walk. And we also had a mini trampoline, which we're going to put together and demonstrate that as well. But they bounced on a mini rebounder, and they got the lymphatics working, because your lymphatics only work on motion. So those lymph system has to be through muscular action on the muscles. It pumps the lymph through. So when somebody's sick, the worst thing you can do is tell them to stay in bed. Now they should rest and sleep, but when they wake up from sleep, jump on a mini trampoline, move their limbs in bed, move their legs, move their arms. You've got to move in order for the lymph fluid to move. You don't want sludge in your system, which is what happens when the lymph fluid just sits there, and that's what breeds disease as well. So you want to move everything through. So the people that came to us that were smoking, we'd have them jump on the mini trampoline, get out in that fresh air and move your arms and walk, claim promises, look up to God, let him help you. And then when they quit smoking, this one gentleman, he traveled around. Vito? What's his name? Vito? He was from the Lifestyle Center in New York. And he came up from New York City to come to this stop smoking program with these Adventist people. He didn't know who we were. And he came through the program and he stayed 1 week. And when he left, remember he ate vegetarian all week. He stopped smoking that week. And when he left, he goes, I like them. I quit smoking, but I'm going back to my lifestyle. So the first thing he did is he stopped at a diner and he got himself a breakfast. He ordered bacon and eggs and a cup of coffee. And he sat there and he looked at it. And he confessed this to us. He says, I want to do everything bad that day. And he said, the most amazing thing happened. I didn't really enjoy my breakfast. I didn't really enjoy the coffee. And I had no urge to smoke. What did you people do to me? What'd you do to me? And I said, well, don't you remember? The doctor and the nurse in the program and the staff got up and sang a scripture song for each patient. and handed them that scripture and said, we're praying for you, we're giving you the scripture, and God's going to give you victory over smoking. And he was astounded. He said, I never wanted a cigarette again. He called us a year later. He says, I've never touched another cigarette after being through your 7-day program. So I'm telling you, anything's possible with the right diet, with the fasting, with the cleansing. Oh, and did they get samples?
Yes.
To them? Okay. We talked about how to do the lemonade cleanse. And what I had was
Or explain it to 'em.
this. So do you want to take a picture of why you're supposed to fast? Sorry, it's not as neat as it should. I used to use these posters at Katie's every week, and I'd be sitting there with no computer or printer, so I'd write them out on this. So the recipe is here. I told you the quarter cups. And then you can do a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 10-day fast. A 3-day fast, rid your body of toxins and cleanses the blood. That's good to do at least, you can do that once a month. A 5-day fast heals and rebuilds the immune system. You can do that every 6 months if you want. Or in a 10-day fast, you can do once a year. And that it may help you fight off illness, including degenerative diseases from our chemically polluted environment. Now, in all water fast, we had people that came to the Lifestyle Center in Oklahoma that were very, very sick. They had a doctor-monitored water fast, but we only did it for, was it 1 or 3 days?
3 days.
Okay, it's 3 days because we needed everything out of their system. Then we put them on a 4-day allergy food rotation diet to figure out what things were causing them reactions, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically. And they went on it, but it was a monitored fast. You never want to go on a prolonged water fast, mainly because it causes you to detox really fast. You're not having anything in there to help you, sustain your brain or anything. And what it could do is put you into a healing crisis, which is okay if you know what's happening. Puts you into a healing crisis where it flushes everything out. You may spike a fever. You may get a bad headache. It's flushing toxins out. If you're monitored and you're being watched, and you can get some water treatments, cool to your head, cool to your neck, cool to your heart, and be drinking, sipping on maybe some charcoal water or something that's going to grab onto some of those poisons. But the poisons are going into your bloodstream really fast because you have nothing to hold on to it, like the lemon and the maple syrup and cayenne. So a water fast can be a really good way to detox fast, but it can be dangerous on your own. So I don't ever recommend it on your own. But it may produce headaches and be too hard on your body. You can do the Master Cleanse, though, or a live juice fast where you juice on fresh fruits and vegetables. Eat only fresh or raw fruits and vegetables prior to fasting for 2 to 3 days. We had a lady named Janet at our Lifestyle Center in Oklahoma, and she had terrible arthritis. It was so bad she could barely walk. Her knees were swollen and inflamed, and she read somewhere where if she went on apples, it would help her. So she got on apples and apple juice like for a month. That's all she did. She washed and cleansed the apples, make sure they're organic. She got apples and she ate them and drank them, and she said all the pain went away out of her knees and her joints. And then she lost weight. She said she felt fantastic. So she said, anytime I'm sick, I'm going on an apple fast. So you can find different fasts that are effective. Now, apples have a thing in them called malic acid, and malic acid actually is really good for digestion. So it's probably helping break some stuff down. But for her, it worked. So I'd say anything that works for you that's getting away from your normal routine and normal foods is a good thing. Also, by fasting, you give your organs of digestion a rest to heal and repair. Fasting reverses aging. Don't we all want to look younger? The natural process of releasing toxins happens when you're fasting. The immune system can work more efficiently. If your blood is thick, like even a cup of coffee will affect tissue lipase, which is an enzyme that breaks down fats in your blood and makes your blood thicker. So anything sugar can make your blood thicker, more like syrup. So heavy meats and things that are high in saturated fat can make your blood thicker. Anything that makes your blood thicker makes it harder for your body to fight infection and to heal and repair. But when your blood is naturally thin on a vegetarian diet and the fasting, it allows those white blood cells to do what they have to do. Normally, one white blood cell will engulf 14 bacterium. But on sugar and stuff, it can only engulf maybe 10 or 7 or 3. And sometimes 0, and then you're an uncontrolled diabetic because your blood is so thick and syrupy that your body can no longer fight infection. That's why diabetics are so prone to sickness too, because if their blood sugar is all messed up, their body, the syrup, it's like syrup in their bloodstream, and then they don't get well. But a vegetarian diet has shown over and over again, reverse heart disease, reverse cardiovascular sickness, reverse cholesterol, reverse diabetes. It's all amazing what a vegetarian diet can do. So I just really encourage you to do that. And digestive tract is spared any inflammation due to food reactions. So when these folks that were given the 3-day water fast, they would introduce one type of food on the 4-day allergy rotation diet. And that type of food, that food group, say it was wheat, there's several things that are within that food group. You don't eat anything in that food group till 4 days later, so the body has time to rest and repair from that food group you might be reacting to. We had some people come to us with anxiety. One lady came, we cleansed her, got her cleansed, and she had a bowl of lentils. That set her off. Another lady had MS. She ate broccoli. That set her off. Then she realized she was sensitive to mold. Well, if you have broccoli sitting, those little florets can grow mold easily. And so she had mold, and she went home and she had a gas stove, and she got rid of her gas stove. She just improved her home environment. She got on a healthy diet, and she reversed her symptoms of MS. It was pretty amazing. Remember Lori? So we saw different things with people in real life, and we put them on the 4-day rotation, had them fast on water, then the 4-day rotation. We had a doctor and a naturopathic doctor that worked with us at the Lifestyle Center. We monitored them, but people were amazed. And some had headaches. We put cool on their head, their feet in warm water, gave them willow bark, which was for like an aspirin for the headache, and they were amazed how good they felt. Anyway, what a blessing. So it also helps the white blood cells to move better. Can you swim up a muddy river that's real thick with mud and sludge, or can you swim up a clear water river easier? Of course. So think of your white blood cells and your red blood cells flowing freely through a much thinner blood stream than a thick, heavy bloodstream. Your fat stored chemicals are released. The pesticides and drugs are stored in your fat cells. So when you're flushing, you might get some of that coming back out, and you might feel like a headache coming on. Just keep drinking the water. And what you do then is take in fiber. If you start fasting and you have a really bad headache that's hard to deal with, eat a piece of fruit. Because the fruit and the fiber will help grab onto the stuff coming out of your bloodstream and go into the toilet. Okay? So all of that, you just monitor and make sense. But if you're fasting and you have a bad headache, it means you're releasing toxins. Oh, it's working. So then I just sip on charcoal water, because charcoal's a filter, and it helps grab on some of that too. And you can do a fiber smoothie every 3rd day. Make yourself a fiber drink. Put some fruit, put some almond milk, put some psyllium fiber in there, psyllium seed fiber. I like the powdered kind. I just put that in there and drink that on the 3rd day of fasting, and you'll feel really good. It'll grab onto everything and kind of flush it out, and then you go back on your fast. That's how I did 7 to 10 days, personally. We've gone. How long have you fasted? What's the longest you fasted?
I think 7 days.
7 days. And then just doing a consistent 1 day a week fast. He did that consistently for a long time, and really good. Okay. Physical and mental awareness increase. If I don't tell him I'm fasting, he knows I'm fasting. I get more hyper when I'm fasting. Okay, I'll go walk, Bill, dear. I'll take a warm bath. Are you fasting?
Well, what were you weren't doing that the other day, but you were doing the vitamin B or whatever it was.
I don't know. I did vitamin B. I took vitamin B because I knew I was going to be stressed about going to my OT. I took vitamin B, and I was laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. Oh, my vitamin B's kicking in. It's funny. It makes you high. If you have a good clean system, you take a good B complex, it can make you high. And then I cracked up. I said, well, I'm driving with my other vitamin B. Barbara makes me laugh. So I go, I got double B's today. What? I like, personally, look for timed released B vitamins. I just think they go in your system slower. You, under stress, the B's and C's are excreted every 4 hours. You lose your B's and C's every 4 hours under stress. Are we all under stress in America with traffic and cell phone? Yeah, we're under stress constantly. So taking a good B complex each day is great, and even the C's. I'll try to remember next week to bring mine, but I have a time-released, look at that thing, there might be one too. Time-released B's, time-released, Solar Ray's a good company, but time-released, yeah, Mega B stress, there's a vitamin C that's time-released. What's nice is the C's and B's get excreted quickly, right? But if it's time-released, it goes released into your system slowly over the course of the day. Now, I don't know if you get a B high like I did, I'm just kidding, if it's released slowly, but if it goes through your system fast, I'll be like, feel high and happy, but it's a good high happy. It'll look like the yellow, it'll be the yellow top, the like Solar Ray or the other.
Is folic acid B?
Yes, as a B vitamin.
Yeah.
So is thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, you need all the B's. So that's why I tell people, don't just take one B. It'll be yellow, Bill. They'll be yellow top. Oh, there's one right there. You just threw it in. Okay, here it is. Time release Mega Bee Stress. This is the one I really like, okay? And this one has all the bees in it with magnesium, silica, stearic acid, and food-based rice, whole rice, and pure aloe vera gel. But it's got vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams. So this one actually has both in it, okay? It's called Solarate Time Released Mega Bee Stress. And it's Mega Bee Stress because it has a C added. So it's 1,000 milligrams of C, 100 milligrams of thiamine, 100 milligrams of riboflavin, niacin 100, B6 100, folic acid 240 micrograms, B12 250 micrograms, biotin 100 micrograms, pantothenic acid, another B vitamin, B5, 100 milligrams, choline 39 milligrams, which is really good for the brain, inositol 100 milligrams, bioflavonoids, which is the bioflavonoids in nature are the white part of your fruit. You know, when you peel an orange or a lemon or a lime or a grapefruit, the white part, we don't want to really eat it. That's the bioflavonoid part of it. And that's actually really good. So if you eat your fruit, you eat the white part too, you're getting all of it.
Yeah.
It tastes like a skin on your, you know, the white skin on your fruit. If you peel it that way, it's actually really good for you. And then PABA, paraminobenzoic acid, is very good for the brain as well. So you have this is a really good combo. I'll pass it around. You can look up close. You can take a picture of the front if you need to. But that's the one I like. I love that one. Mega Bee Stress. It's got both. Okay, so what does this fasting do? It cleanses the organs. It occurs when you stop eating solid foods. What's it going to cleanse? Your liver, your kidneys, your colon, your blood. It helps you lose excess weight and water. It flushes out toxins. It clears the eyes and tongue, and it cleanses the breath. We had people fasting, and their tongue would get all coated with stuff coming out of their systems, and they'd open their mouth, and they had this thick stuff on their tongues. That's a fasting tongue that's cleansing. So you brush your teeth, and you can use a tongue cleaner, and but keep drinking your water, keep doing your fast. You're going to be amazed. And what we would tell people when I was seeing them every week at Katie's and stuff, I'd say get a good checkup before you start a fast. But when you fast, this is the way you're really supposed to fast. You're hungry the first day because your body's saying, I want to eat lunch, I want to eat dinner, I want to eat breakfast. It's used to eating, so your stomach's going to be ready to digest food. The first day you're really hungry. By the second day you're less hungry. By the third day you're not even really hungry anymore. I tell people to keep fasting till you're no longer hungry, and keep fasting till true hunger returns. And if you've been snacking and eating between meals and doing all that stuff, you fast long enough till you say, I am really hungry. I can feel it. You start to feel almost weak because you don't have enough nutrients in you. You go, okay, I'm going to stop my fast today. And when you stop your fast, this is critical, do not eat cooked food. Cooked food would create more mucus in your stomach again and weigh you down. You'll feel so sleepy and tired if you eat cooked food. Stop it with fresh fruit or a wonderful raw green salad. Stop it with raw food. The Master Cleanse guy recommends you stop it with like oranges. He said you can break your fast with oranges. I find oranges to be kind of acidic for me, and I know Barbara, she can't eat. Sometimes you eat oranges in your mouth or tomatoes and make your mouth feel a little acidy. I don't break it with oranges or fruit. I break my fast with I'll crave a huge, beautiful salad. I make myself a beautiful green salad with organic greens and maybe some arugula. I found watercress the other day in the store. I was thrilled. Watercress is one of the formulas in this thing called fluorescence, which was a cancer combination. That this Renee Koss made this thing called Easiac, which we used to make in Canada. She made it. She was a nurse. She reversed cancer with Easiac. They almost passed it as a cancer treatment, but it failed by one parliamentary vote. But we were working at the Lifestyle Center in Oklahoma, and we were making the Easiac because someone came by and gave us the recipe. So my husband ordered all the herbs, made the Easiac, put it in amber bottles. Then a lady who was a nurse came to visit us, and this other person was on the radio talking about the Easiac tea and this fluorescent that she had developed, because she had gotten the recipe somehow too. They added watercress to it. And so we found out about that too. And so she called the Lifestyle Center and talked to Bill. He was the administrator. She goes, I hear you're making and using Easiac. And so my husband goes, well, yeah. She said, well, yeah. And he said, well, wait a minute, let me explain. He explained about our program, that we put people on a 21-day cleanse and a fast. Part of their protocol was the Easiac. We put the herbs together. We put it in amber bottles. We sold it as, we said Easiac. We changed the name a little bit, 2 Z's instead of S's or something.
Yeah.
But he shared the Easiac, and he said, we're using the formula that's helping people Don't you think Renee would have loved that? So the lady goes, yes, she would have. And I'll tell you what you do. After you heat it overnight with the roots, and in the morning you add the soft herbs, and then you reheat it. She said, add watercress. She said, watercress makes it even better. And so she told us how to improve the recipe. And so then we were using it for the patients at the Lifestyle Center. We said, we're not making it to market it. We're using it as part of our protocol, and then the patients can take the Easy Tea home that we've made and bottled if they want some. So she was like, oh, Renee would love that. So anyway, so she's nice about it. But I thought that was fascinating. So along the way, God sends people to give you input, to give you insights, to give you wisdom, to know what to do to treat certain conditions. What a blessing. And some of you wrote down you have pain. Pain is inflammation. If you're on this side, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in your diet and stress and sugar, you're on that pH, acidic pH, you're going to have pain and inflammation. But if you're more neutral in the middle here and you take more alkaline stuff, you're going to be no pain and inflammation. Does that make sense? So you're a walking chemistry lab and your body's constantly rebuffering everything. So it's just amazing. It's amazing what the human body will do. Okay, so consume at least your body weight divided by 2 in daily ounces of water for at least 8 to 10 days in 8-ounce glasses. Lemon and warm water in the AM is good to drink 2. Fiber smoothies every 3rd day, which I mentioned already. So you take your body weight, so 120-pound person would take 60 ounces a day, and I like that because my children, an 80-pound child, only has to drink 40 ounces a day. So we got into this so much that we filled bottles in the kitchen with the weight of water each of them was supposed to take. So my 40-pound child had a 20-ounce bottle, and they drank 5 ounces in the morning and 5 ounces between breakfast and dinner and 5 ounces again, and then one more 5 ounces, and they had their 20 ounces of water. So we measured and weighed ourselves and had bottles on the counter, and then my husband came up with the idea. So then these, of course, are the 8 doctors you always want to follow daily. Sunshine, fresh air, good plant-based nutrition, exercise, rest, water, temperance, and trust in God. And my daughter Johanna drew this. That's why I save it. It might be beat up, but Johanna drew it all. But anyway, so those 8 doctors are really important. And when you fast, you're giving your body a chance to rest and relax. Now, before I stop talking about the fasting and cleansing, any questions about it?
Just one small question. Okay, I was talking with Cammie, but she called it what? Stevia. You know, the keto people, they use stevia.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, I had to go get some.
You can use stevia in this if you want. I just like
that's
the
what I
maple
was gonna
syrup.
ask you.
I would prefer the maple syrup because I think it's more well-rounded in
Okay.
trace minerals. Plus, remember, you're only using a 1/4 cup of it in a quart. It's not real sweet.
Well, I do that, but I put the stevia in it, and I saw him do the maple syrup. I was like, you know, part of the stroke, I had a stroke. I mean, you can tell. But anyway, part of the stroke, I lost the room spins. What am I trying to say?
Vertigo?
Yeah, to you it's vertigo, but to me it's nerve damage.
Oh.
And so nobody knows what it is. None of the doctors can fix it. And so, I don't want to talk too much, but anyway, the doctor said, I'm really sorry. She goes, I'm really sorry. I got 3 patients that came like you. They have this vertigo thing and nobody, you know, we can't do anything about it. And some people were saying you need to do that physical therapy, you know, the fast one where you lay down and switch and lay down, and then you can't go see any chiropractors because they might, you know, once you have a stroke, you can't go see a chiropractor, is what I was told. And so every day you can't, people tell me they can't tell, but I'm bouncing up and down inside. And my head is vertigo to you, but to me it's nerve damage. So of course I got addicted to the medicine, morphine, because she said morphine is the only thing that works. And so they did that release morphine, and like I said, I got addicted, and then I had to do cold turkey to get off of it. And then so now I'm like, oh, I don't want any drugs, but I hurt. Because
You may want to know about that natural aspirin then, because a natural aspirin has willow bark in it, which is a natural aspirin. in nature. Salicylic acid is the ingredient that's in aspirin. Aspirin is salicylates.
Well,
So-
they just
so
now
that-
put me on. I did it. Well, God did it. From that migraine, you know, the migraine
Feverfew.
Tylenol. It has
Oh.
caffeine and aspirin and Tylenol, and I started taking it and it started like it fixed my brain. But anyway, I said all that to say, I wonder if I should get rid of the stevia and do the what exactly.
You can still use stevia. Stevia is excellent. I was just saying for the master cleanse,
Yeah.
I've taught this fast to most people I've ever taught.
But
fast.
that did something to my head, in a good, I guess in a good way. I don't know. It's
Okay, so what's happening is, and I would recommend highly you get off anything with caffeine and Tylenol on it. However, as you do, you need to find something that takes the place. So when you tell people that are on something that's working for a specific thing, you have to put something better in its place.
we don't know what.
So
to
the
use.
willow bark that I'm
Oh.
telling you about is called natural aspirin.
No, I know about willow bark. I know.
All right, so what it has in it though is 20 ingredients that are anti-inflammatories.
Show her the bottle.
Now I broke my wrist. I don't know if I have the bottle with me today.
I'll get some from the health food store. Back in the
But it's
day.
called All Natural Aspirin Life Source. I'll write it down. Life Source Natural Aspirin. I would order it offline. The reason I said that is Bonnie gave that to me. I had broken my wrist. I was in excruciating pain. I tried oxycodone. It worked every 4 hours, sort of, cut it off. But in the morning, I was vomiting, like dry heat vomiting, just throwing up all the acid in my stomach. And I threw up 3 times violently.
Yeah.
I said, I can't take that. So then my husband went and picked up the hydrocodone. They said, that's more mild. Try that. And remember me, I'm all natural. I don't have any of this stuff in my system. I never take it. But I had terrible pain. I couldn't even sleep.
Yeah.
I felt like my hands were on fire. I'm pulling my hand, doing tension, traction, trying to relieve it. But my wrist is broken and the nerve was irritated.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I tried, after the hydrocodone, my husband said our son, who had injured himself skiing and stuff, he tried a leave, and he said that really helped him, and it works for a longer period of time, so it's like a time release almost. So I tried a leave. Well, the first night's sleep I got was a leave. I was like happy about it, okay?
Is a leaving in the Moultrie family?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not as familiar with it. Anyway, so listen to this. This is what I'm telling you my story. So I tried that, okay? And it did work. Then I talked to the doctor. With, what do you have, the thing to show her? Okay, then I talked to the doctor. Here it is. This is what I'm telling you about. Oh, where'd it go?
It comes
All right,
from
here it is. Here it is.
Life Source Vitamins.
All sorts of natural aspirin, Life Source Vitamins, natural aspirin. And you're ordering it on which site? Life Source Vitamins. Go to Life Source Vitamins, all natural aspirin. The reason I'm telling you guys this is, believe me, I did not want to take anything the doctors were prescribing. I was in terrible
Is that
pain.
the same one? Oh, it's both the same?
No, that's called, oh, Bonnie, do you have it? Bonnie might have it.
You just had it in it. Oh, but, I'm sorry.
It's Life Source Vitamins.
Yeah, it's natural aspirin. That's it. That's the same thing. If you flip it around, see if you see the back of it. Oh, this is the one Bonnie had. Okay.
No,
this
no,
is-
no,
This
that's
is the picture.
antibiotic. It's the same thing, only it says half.
All right, she'll find it for you, but that's the catalog. Anyway,
Okay.
the reason I'm sharing this is this. The hydrocodone I tried the next night. I woke up in the morning violently ill, throwing up. Okay? I'm in pain, now I have to run to the bathroom and empty my stomach. Okay. This isn't working. I can't take that either. I tried the Aleve. It was more gentle on my stomach, I guess, and I'm taking that. I talked to the pre-op nurse from my doctor. I told her, couldn't do the strong narcotics you gave me. They made me sick. I threw up. So my husband picked up Aleve, and I tried that. And I said, I can handle it. She goes, oh, but it's burning a hole in your intestines.
Oh, yeah.
I said, what? She says, yeah, the doctors won't recommend it. It literally burns a hole in your intestines. So then 3 other people that broke the wrist said they took ibuprofen. So I said, okay, I'll try that. Because right now I was on willow bark, but I couldn't take any aspirin containing product because I was about to have surgery. Or I would have stayed on the willow, okay? I didn't want anything to thin my blood because I'm pre-surgical. Okay, so I tried the ibuprofen. And my daughter said it worked. Dr. Dan's wife, Ann, who broke her wrist a couple times, said it worked. 3 people that had broken their wrist said, or broken a bone, said it worked. So I did that, right? And then She said, oh yeah, but ibuprofen burns a hole in your stomach. So when I took the ibuprofen, my stomach starts burning. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I started taking aloe vera before I took the ibuprofen. The only reason I'm showing this is recent. In the last 2 weeks, I went through the gamut of pain pills and trying everything they recommended with no success, without a side effect. And then last Sabbath, Bonnie says to me, have you ever seen this? Now, I'm familiar with willow bark, and I'm familiar with all the ingredients in there. It's got magnesium. It's got all kinds of stuff. I tried that Sabbath afternoon. I was pain-free till the next day. I tried it again, and I was pain-free for like another 12 hours. I tried it again. I said, no pain for 12 hours, and I'm not throwing up. Do you see what I'm saying? No matter what they recommend that we think is working for us, if it's damaging our liver, our stomach, our intestines, our kidneys, and it's not really working long term, I want to be able to stay on this long term while I recuperate from the pain in my wrist. When I no longer have pain, I no longer have to take it. But it has 20 ingredients, and it's like really comprehensive. I'm so impressed. You only have to take like 2 pills instead of 20 different things. So anyway, so I would suggest you try that. Now also, I'll tell you why the drink might have helped your head. The cayenne in that increases circulation, and anything that increases circulation, having had a stroke, you had lack of circulation to that part of your body or that part of your brain. You want to kickstart your circulation. If you fast, you're opening up everything, you're allowing the circulation to improve. So the cayenne in that probably helped increase your circulation. The glucose that was in the maple syrup went to your brain. So that's just something that I would, but also be very smart about it. Listen to your body, do what works.
No,
But I'm telling you historically,
yeah. Like I said, I got that down. I just didn't know about the molasses, and I like.
you can do the maple syrup or molasses, or you could try it with stevia, but I just know I like the maple syrup for the fact that the quality's in it, and the molasses also has a lot of good trace
You
minerals.
said it does something to your brain.
It helps fuel your brain. You need glucose for the brain or you'll fall out. Like if someone's hypoglycemic, they have a hypoglycemic episode, it's because their blood sugar dropped too quickly, because their pancreas is off kilter, because they're pre-diabetic. But if you do fasting, it allows your organs of digestion to rest. And then you have the ability to heal. You want to heal and repair your pancreas. You want to heal and repair your stomach. You want to heal and repair your intestines. Yes, you want to heal and repair your heart. You want to heal and repair. So you want long term. What I'm telling you is 20, 30, 40 years from now, you can still consistently take these natural things and they're going to be helping you. 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you don't want damage to those organs. And that's what's happening. So anyway,
Well, I want to get better. I'm sorry, guys. I got to
do you need help?
keep going.
Do you need help getting there? Can someone wheel her to the restroom? Can you do it yourself or do you need assistance?
Candy, I'll take help.
Are you going for the restroom?
But you can.
She'll help you. She's good. You don't mind? Yeah, she has to go to the restroom.
You want me to follow you?
She can help you.
She'll push you.
I don't want to do your thing.
All right. And then the other part I want, because then Bill's going to show you practical application of water, but I wanted to share this with you as well. And I highly recommend this man and this book. Dr. Batman Gillick, Batman-Gellidj. Look up Your Body's Many Cries for Water. His name will come up. So look up Your Body's Many Cries for Water. He's made more than one book. I have an entire fold out here with statements on it, and I can share a little bit with you. But this doctor is brilliant. And what happened was he was in prison in a country where they were trying to take over and kill all the professionals, all the smart people. And I can't remember which country it was. It might have been Iran or Iraq. I don't know which country. But he was in prison with other professionals, and each day they'd come in and say who was going to get assassinated. Were they under a stressful situation?
You mean execute?
Yes, executed. Well, assassinated too, isn't it? Same one. All right, executed. Okay, so each day someone's going to get executed. All right. So,
Assassination.
Does she not need
is a
assistance?
prize.
okay. All right, anyway. So, when he was in this situation, some of the people in prison with him were having some health challenges. Did they have access to their meds? No. Did they have access to any kind of medical care? No. And so he was the doctor there, and so he became the resident doctor in prison. And all these men are waiting to be executed. All right, so one of the guys had been taking Tagamet for his stomach. He had terrible acid reflux and stuff and terrible pain in his stomach. So he was just doubled over and he's moaning and it's just terrible. So the other prisoners said, is there anything you can do for him? Is there anything you can do? And he said, well, you know what? We've got water. I'm going to try water. So he gave him a glass of water. Started easing up. He gave him a second glass of water. Started easing up. He gave him a third glass of water. His pain completely went away. Another guy was having chest pain. Tightness in his chest. He said, drink a glass of water. Relax, breathe, now drink water. Drink another glass of water. Drink another glass of water. 3 glasses of water. Another person had trouble with an asthmatic attack. Tension, stress, having trouble breathing and anxiety, I'm sure triggered by anxiety. Drink a glass of water. Drink a second glass of water. Drink a third glass of water. His prescription became 3 glasses of water. And he started stopping all the symptoms of all these problems everybody was having because they were in crisis because they were dehydrated. So he started rehydrating them. And if you look up symptoms of dehydration, most of us go to the doctor for symptoms of dehydration, unless you've broken a wrist or something. Well, anyway, so symptoms of dehydration are a list of things you go to the doctor for. Seriously. So if you stay at home for a moment and you drink some water and you rehydrate yourself, you'll know when it's serious, sharp pain, whatever. But drink water and relax first. Pray for wisdom. Drink your water and say, is it subsiding? Is it going away? I'm still going to go in and get checked out. You know when you need to go to the ER. Don't be stupid. But what I'm saying is if you can solve it with water, why not try a glass of water? Why not try a second glass of water? Why not try a third glass of water? And if it's body temperature, it will be absorbed right away. And if it's my fancy Kangen water microcluster, it'll really absorb fast and it'll really go away quicker. But I'm saying, like, we have been told you're sick. You need a medication to fix it. Since when do you have depression because of lack of an SSRI? Since when do you have a heart attack because of a lack of their medication? Since when do you have a stroke, which is lack of trace minerals, because of a lack of the medicine they're going to give you, the blood thinners or whatever, the anticoagulants? Since when is that the cause of you having a stroke, or it's going to fix it? Since when? Since we've been told by the AMA linking arms with the pharmaceutical companies telling us this is the only way to fix it. And now our poor doctors are locked into, you have to prescribe a medication, or you have to recommend surgery, or you're outside your scope of practice. They have ruined American health. We are number 38 or 39 in health around the world. Shame on us. We're so smart. We have access to so much stuff. We're not any better off. And even our mortality rate for women having babies is not as good as some of these simple nations that don't interfere with birth and don't give all these chemicals. So again, trust your body, trust your wisdom, and trust God that He made the foods. It says our food should be our medicine and our medicine should be our food. And what's the original Hippocratic Oath? Do no harm. These doctors are doing harm. And some of them want to get out of it, I'm sure. And they'd rather go to more natural stuff and treat more natural things. But they've got that MD behind their name, so they're stuck in a rut. Really. I've met doctors. My doctor, I told her, can I have any of your anatomy charts? I loved anatomy. So I asked for anatomy charts because I wanted to be at home, teach my kids anatomy. You know, they have beautiful diagrams. They're advertising a medication, but they have beautiful diagram of the wrist or the shoulder, or whatever, and the human body. And I loved it. So I asked her for the charts. And I said, you never know. Maybe one of my children will become a doctor. She immediately responded with, no, do not tell your children to go into medicine. She was a medical doctor, disillusioned with her own practice. She said, never tell your children to become a medical doctor. So then I started telling them, become a naturopathic doctor, become an osteopath, or a doctor of chiropractic, or a nutritionist. That's a better way to help people. And so I'm going to tell you all, and you all should be feeling powerful when I tell you this. You are not your genetics. You do not have to fear about the things that happened to your ancestors. Every day, whatever you put in your mouth is giving you life or death. And what are the 3 middle letters in the word death?
Eat.
We are eating ourselves to death. Literally, right? Fast foods, dyes and sugars and all kinds of stuff, fried foods, additives, MSG, and don't even get me on that one, MSG and NutraSweet, they cross the brain-blood barrier, they affect the brain, they affect inflammation everywhere in the body. So again, we put ourselves in a very dangerous position when we put in our mouths the things that are not good to put in our mouths. Now, they're working now, this administration, to make America healthy again, and they're trying to get rid of the dyes, like the red dyes out of foods and different things. Kids are suffering terribly. The same people that ate food, the same food, pastas and breads in Europe, do not have the same symptoms they have here. Putting on weight, bloated on, it's because of all the stuff they add to our breads. It's all the stuff they add to our cereals for our kids. So they're trying to take all that out now. Arizona signed it. Kennedy talked to the Arizona governor, and in schools, they're taking all that out of the lunch meals for the kids. And they're hoping to do it across the nation. It's a long time coming, folks. We've allowed way too many things to come into our food chain. They shouldn't be there. And they're especially hurting the children and the elderly. So anyway, don't get me started. Okay, so your body's made cries for water. You're not sick, you're thirsty. And look at this statistically. The human body is around 75% water. Brain tissue is 85% water. Lung tissue is 83% water. Skin tissue is 64% water. Muscles and kidneys are 79% water. Even the bones are 31% water. Do you think you need water? Water-dependent chemical reactions, our battery systems like ATP and GTP, which are sources of energy in the body, need water. The adhesive material in cell architecture needs water. Transport of products in brain cells is along waterways. Proteins and enzymes move better with water. And look at this one. I didn't know this, or I would have drank more water when I was pregnant. Morning sickness of the mother during pregnancy is a thirst signal of both the mother and the baby. Isn't that amazing? Water. Inexpensive. Simple. But won't make them money. I'm telling you, if you're a good doctor that knows natural stuff and he says, you're dehydrated, drink more water, stick with him. And if he says, we're not going to give you a strong chemical pharmaceutical, why don't you try eating more papaya for your digestion? Or bromelain. Yes?
Bonnie and I go to a DO now, a doctor, and he does a lot. He's a vegetarian himself, a vegan
Awesome.
himself. And
Awesome.
his grandfather was Indian, and so he does a lot of natural stuff too.
Fantastic. It's good to go to people like that. Bill goes to a DO. He loves him. He's been really good for him. I go to a Adventist doctor. She's in the Bon Secours system, Bayside Health, over by me. But anyway, she's an Adventist. And you know how I knew about her? On her history in the office where I took my mother, it said she graduated from Loma Linda. Loma Linda's an Adventist school. So I said, she graduated from Loma Linda. And she goes to Camp Stella Church. But she's so sweet. She'll let me do whatever I want. She'll check all my stuff. She goes, okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Do it. Anyway, so she's great. All right, well, I don't want to take up more time because Bill has stuff to share. But if any of you want any of this information about water and your body's many cries for water, this stuff that I got is all this stuff out of his book. Okay? Just share a testimony real quick. Asthma used to be a major health issue of mine, this lady Joni. I have been drinking enough water, however, I've been able to breathe fine without the use of any medicine. Remember, water is, you're going too far away. Oh, for you?
Keep talking.
Okay, well,
You're being recorded.
you're going far away. They're watching.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching. You're nice. All right. All right. Next one. And the next one is from Edward, diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. Around November, my legs were giving out. They became black and blue from my knees to my thighs and very painful. I went to the doctor and my muscle enzymes were 660 and normal is 90. Another doctor said I had muscular dystrophy. You told me to drink 2 quarts, 64 ounces of water daily and salt, he tells, right? I have been and feel much better and all symptoms disappeared in 2 months. I also use salt liberally with all my meals. I went back to the doctor and had additional blood work done. The enzyme levels in my muscles were back to normal and the doctor couldn't believe it was possible. I am free of all discomfort and have more energy and better health than I can remember for a long time. Diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, 2 quarts of water a day with the salt. This is what Dr. Backman-Gilly recommends to every patient. 2 quarts of water with salt every day. Dry mouth is the very last sign of dehydration. The body can suffer from dehydration even when the mouth is fairly moist, so make sure you drink enough water to never get dry mouth. And so the new paradigm model, the new scientific truth about the human body that will empower people to become practitioners of preventative medicine is, it's the solvent water that regulates all functions of the body, including the activity of all solutes or solids that are in your body that are dissolved in it. Every function is maintained and flows due to enough water. Physicians think they are doing something for you by labeling what you have as a disease. I worked in an office, a chiropractor's office. Do you know why you have to have a label to your disease? So they can legally prescribe you a medication. If you have that diagnosis, they can give you a medication. If they give you this symptom list, then you can get the care will be covered by your insurance. Did you know that? That's how our system is. They can give you a name to it. They can prescribe you a medication. You are not that disease. How many people walk up to you and go, oh, I have heart disease. I'm a diabetic. No, you're not that. You're a body that's out of balance. Get it back on balance drinking your water. That's why this water seminar is so important. 2 quarts of water a day with salt. You all try it. See if some of your symptoms don't disappear. Neck pain relief, exercise, stretching, movement, and water. Anginal chest pain. Angina pectoris is where you have a pain, sharp pain here in your chest. Something's going on with your heart. Due to water shortage. Headaches, especially migraines, are brought about and worsen with not enough water. Dehydration causes stress, and stress brings further dehydration. High blood pressure is the body adapting to not enough water. Did you hear me? Did I tell you it's important enough? Absolutely. So if any of you want to take a picture of any of this, I'm going to now pass over the torch to my husband so he can share with you the actual demos of the hydrotherapy. And remember, who's who of the pH crew, the liquid cleanse, and eating between meals are all right here. And I'll come around and hand them out to anybody that doesn't have them. You're all going to have to help me because I'm a one-armed bandit. All right, I'll move out of the way so you can all talk to Bill or listen to Bill.
Well, today we're going to talk about the benefits of steam. You know, water can be used in 3 different properties, you know, ice, liquid, or steam as a vapor. So how many of you have ever used these vaporizers when you have a stuffy nose and stuff? Because it allows moisture, water to get into the lungs. And often you'll add something to it, maybe some dips. So I'm going to show you how to make a steam tank, because so often people can benefit from steam in the body. I mean, there's hot sauna, right? You've heard of a hot sauna? You know, it's where it actually heats the body and it causes a thermal reaction inside, and so the body increases circulation, which is really beneficial for us to do that. So we're going to show you properties of how to make a homemade steam unit. And I want to use just regular items. So, Wayne, can I use you as a volunteer? I need to wrap you up.
Yeah, wrap me up.
You mind taking your jacket off?
Can you wrap him up permanently?
I am going to wrap him up.
They probably said I'm not wrapped too tight.
I'm just going to show you just the method. The purpose of getting the body hot, and what I'm going to make is just a very inexpensive plastic bag steam box.
We'll put a plastic bag over here.
Plastic bag. Okay. We'll say Wayne's suffering from just some bronchial problems. He's got a really bad cough, and he wants to get rid of it. And so we're going to take boiling hot water off the stove, okay? And I'm just going to put this under his chair, okay? And I could put some eucalyptus oil in there, right? Or anything, or even Vicks, anything, you can put it in there. Because as a child, that's what we'd use. It comes, you know, the Vicks comes in a little container. It's a solid. And I remember so many times they would rub it on my chest, or they'd put it in a steamer and do that. So this is a very inexpensive, I'm going to wrap you up in here, in there. And one thing we want to do is keep the head cool. Okay. Let's pull it down. So, and this is a very inexpensive steam tank. I can sell you one of these. I can sell you the kit. It's gonna cost you probably about $1.50. You know, it's cheaper than a membership at the gym. And so this is a very inexpensive steam tank.
Okay.
And he's probably gonna start sweating even without the hot water in there. And with that, I can be taking ice water, and I'll be dipping in here, keeping him cool as he's sitting in there. And every once in a while, well, I got you a stained one. This guy,
It used to be a dirty.
I washed it. And then as he's heating up, his body's gonna be perspiring.
Right.
Because that's another way we get rid of toxins. Not only to get rid of toxins through our feces and our urine, but we actually eliminate a lot of toxins through our pores. And in some ways, that's actually a better way to release toxins. Because those of you that don't sweat, you actually contain these toxins, and your liver has to deal with it even more so. Because it has to be recirculated through the liver, and sometimes the kidneys have to deal with it. And so those that exercise regularly begin to sweat, right? And it's very beneficial. So how many of you exercise regularly? Yeah. You work up a sweat? That's really good for you. It's a benefit. So we're actually increasing, Wayne. You getting warm yet? I bet you are. Yeah. And this is a way that you can have it at home. If someone's, say, sick with a chest congestion or anything like that, just a very simple tank, and you can just add more hot water, boiling hot water in there, and it wouldn't take long for him to heat up. Okay? And the other thing you could add to that if you need to is you put his feet in hot water. So you'd have a container, you know, a basin or something. You may need two for the size of the feet. You know, some people have little feet, some have big feet, some have really big feet. And so you would just add, you know, his feet into hot water. Okay? And then after you've finished, so you're going to be in here for, say, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, not very long. At that point, you would just either cool him off, you can wipe him down with ice water, okay? Or, well, you're gonna get another thermal reaction to that body of ice water, or you just take a neutral shower. Doesn't have to be ice cold, just a neutral shower, and then you'd wrap them up and you'd send them to bed. Okay. So that's one method. Thank you, Wayne. And sometimes if someone is so sick they're still in bed, you can take an umbrella and just cover them, also their head, and you can have the vaporizer if you have this, or boiling water. I remember when I had pneumonia as a little kid, we didn't have a vaporizer. That my mother just took a pot of water and she made this little hood for me, and I was breathing the vapors from the Vicks and things like that, just to breathe it in. And just in doing that for 5 minutes, you begin to start coughing, and you're bringing up a lot of mucus and stuff. You're getting a reaction in the lungs, and that's really what you want to do. So suppressing the cough isn't always the best thing. You know, so often we take suppressants, and it just kind of prolongs the time we get our lungs cleared out. And so there's times you do need your sleep. There's no question about that. Sleep's very important. But there's other times when you want to expect to get it out and clear that. So it's important. And these are some methods. You know, the vaporizer, there's cool and there's hot vaporizers you can buy today. And also there's things you can make on your own. So I always like the idea that you can make things. You don't necessarily have to buy it. But you don't need a lot of money sometimes for all this equipment. They had to. And again, as I showed you last week, my mom did a lot of these things. And we didn't have a lot of stuff to work. And we learned how to do it just with natural things.
And if you use the humidifiers, it's best to use distilled water, right?
Yes. Well, it's better for the machine. Yeah, that's true. Because just like a coffee powder thing to heat up, you get minerals collecting in there. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get a humidifier like this, yeah, just get some distilled water, just to keep the machine running longer, better maintenance for that. Okay, so that's the use of water for the lungs and for sweating, like that. And next week, what I'd like to show you is how to do thermophores. A thermophore is a hot pack. We're going to show you how to do that for the lungs. So, any questions about the lungs and humidity and benefits of
I
using
got a
that?
question.
Yes,
When you put the hot water in there,
yeah,
at what temperature?
it's boiling.
No, for his feet.
Oh, his feet, oh, you want to keep that probably under 110.
Okay.
It's actually going to be up to the person, what they can stand. If someone you're working with is a diabetic, you have to be much more sensitive because they can't put their feet in too hot of water. So if it's a diabetic, you're probably talking 100 degrees, 200 degree. You know, person that's in relatively good shape, you can go hotter. You'll find that at 110, it's hot. You know, most people, that's about your limit. It's one of those things where you put your feet in, you want to get out. You know, and to start with, you may want to have the person start with their heels of their feet, and then ease into it because it's hot. So, and that takes conditioning at times. But yeah, that would be the temperature. Yes.
What if somebody had a stroke?
Stroke. The same thing. We just have to be much more sensitive to the side that they had stroke on. They may not have the same feeling or sensitivity. And so it's best for you to try it first, just no different than a baby bottle. You're going to try it to make sure because they may not know it's that hot for them.
Okay.
You know, because you're going to see a reaction. You know, the skin is going to turn red. You know, it's going to pinken up. You know, and so you want some of a reaction, but you don't want to burn the person.
Right, okay, thank you.
Or blister the person. And that's the same when you do the thermophores and things like that. You have to be very sensitive.
We couldn't even use, I couldn't even use a heat pad. They wouldn't even give me a heat pad.
Right, because you couldn't feel anything.
Right.
The challenge is though, and the good thing is, you can always do your good side, and it reflexes to your bad side. So even with a broken arm, like I told you all last week, if I had needed hydrotherapy for this arm, I still have stitches. Once they remove the stitches, they said I can take showers, but I'm not supposed to immerse it. But say the pain's really bad. Before surgery, I was immersing this in cool water and putting a washcloth over it and pouring ice cold water over that washcloth. That stopped that pain so quickly and so effectively. But when I wanted to get hydrotherapy for this arm after surgery with stitches and a semi-cast, half cast, you can do it on this arm. I could put this arm into cold and then into hot. And because it's a closed circulatory system, it reflexes back to the other side. It draws the blood, and then it draws the blood back, and it draws the blood, and it draws the blood back. So you can do the good side. So you can do the good side and get relief for the bad side. Okay? And the other thing you could do for your side with a stroke, you could definitely do essential oils. They won't harm
Yeah, we
anything.
do
They
that.
penetrate gently. They help with pain and inflammation.
I
Lavender
do
oil.
Young Living, I do the
Yes,
oils,
excellent. So
yeah.
all of that is excellent for any kind of stroke. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not too hot or too cold. It's just going to smell nice and penetrate below the surface. It's going to relax the nerves. It's going to relax the muscles. So again, there's things you can do, but you have to be more aware. But do the good side, and it will reflex back to the bad side.
I
Okay?
just
So
wanted to get better faster.
I don't
I
blame you.
know.
Silly me.
Yeah.
tell me about it. When I was at the
Silly
OT
me.
this week and I couldn't pick up these pegs, they said, this is a speed test. Take the pegs out, put the pegs in, and I'm like this. I can't even pick up the pegs. I just start crying. I can't even pick up pegs. Oh, I think there's a guy. Is this your driver? Is this your driver coming around?
Better.
Is that, can you see if the driver's coming around, Bill, back there, to the back door?
I'll move this stuff.
Want me to put my feet up?
All right, any other questions?
Oh.
You could have joined us, are you the driver? You could come in next time. You want some cleansing and hydrotherapy and alkaline acid food?
Any questions on
Interested in any of it?
any of this stuff for the lungs?
Do I have to hold that?
Steam?
Oh, yes, sure.
Yeah.
All right, here.
Well, did I go out the dog door?
Well, you
Go out that door?
you can go out that door. As long as it's open, you go out the door.
As long as I'm away.
Bye now.
Thank you. See you guys.
Was in one cup? All right, thank you for bringing her. God bless you. Is anybody's first? Oh, that is yours. Okay. You were, that's right, you were. I was trying to make nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. God bless you. I don't feel a thing. I'll do good. Amen.
All right, any other questions about anything? Any comments, anything you've experienced naturally that has blessed you?
Thanks for the allowance.
Anything, anybody else, any questions, anything, yes? Peppermint oil, okay. Peppermint oil, because it's aromatic, like eucalyptus, peppermint oil actually is very good for the lungs. You can put it on the lung, you can put it on your chest, but any of these essential oils, you wanna mix them with a carrier oil. Like you might wanna use, coconut oil, you can put coconut oil in a little dish, and let it warm up, but drop peppermint in it. If you wanna use lavender, put lavender in it. The essential oils are very relaxing, they go underneath the surface. The peppermint oil though, because it's like eucalyptus, it opens up the blood vessels. So for some reason, when I drop that peppermint oil on here, it stops that pain. I have a shooting pain across my wrist sometimes, or into my thumb. And all I do is, you know those hand sanitizers? Barbara had a couple of them and she gave them to me and I was having a really rough week. And what's really crazy is when I was taking a leave, my arm felt really heavy. And it didn't feel like it was my arm, it was weird, it just felt heavy. When I stopped using all that, went to the natural aspirin, the 20 ingredients, that stopped. But every now and then, because I'm really thinking about an irritated the nerve in here, when it starts shooting across my thumb or into my fingers, I just take that peppermint spray right on the spots. And I can unwrap this, I put it on the back of my arm. I have a bruised elbow, they never x-rayed here, but it's really bruised. I think I might have chipped something maybe in my elbow, but the doctor palpated it, it's just sore. I spray here. And arnica is the other wonderful thing for bruising. Arnica dissipates the blood cells that are all accumulating here, making it purple and pink, and it softens the bruise look. So it goes from purple and pink to just soft yellow or green, but it's still colorful, but it looks better when it's soft. Castor oil is okay, but it's real sticky. That's the only problem. Castor oil is really hard to work with. We had people that use castor oil for inflammation. They put it on a piece of flannel, and you leave it cool. You don't heat it up because you don't want to heat it up because the purpose of the castor oil is to remove inflammation. You want it cool. So we would put castor oil on a flannel and you wrap the knees. This one lady had problems. We wrapped her knees and she got up the next day and was walking with no pain.
And we use
So-
that as a liver detox too. You put
Right.
Castor oil on your liver.
Yeah. But it's very sticky and hard to use, but it is good. Now castor oil can be taken internally to get rid of parasites because they stick to it. You can't digest
It's
castor.
like slick.
It's that big, thick, heavy bean looking thing, but when you make it into the oil itself cannot be digested by the human body. So it allows for parasites to get rid of. People in the olden days, in Europe all too, in the spring and in the summer, the kids all got a spoon of castor oil. Want to get rid of the parasites. Most of us probably have some form of parasites in us. That affects us too. What?
That stuff tastes nasty.
Oh, it's horrible. But I guess you could put it with peppermint oil. Put peppermint oil on it.
But you don't wanna use a lot of castor oil.
No.
No, you don't. I don't like it as a carrier. It's just too sticky. Coconut oil is fine. You can get 100% grapeseed oil or olive oil. You can use any other kind of oil. I just like coconut oil because it melts nicely and it kind of goes into the skin. It's very soothing to the skin. I have a sheet on 300 uses and benefits of coconut oil.
But I have one, you don't.
What?
I use coconut oil to tell me what temperature it is. Because when I'm hiking, it's a solid and it turns liquid at 74 degrees. So I know when I'm hiking what temperature it is.
What if it's 90 degrees and it still melts?
Well, I know it's higher than 74 degrees. And the last thing I have is anyone interested in a portable sauna?
Yes, show 'em. I'll do it. You can do
I've
it.
already done it, Brenda. They've seen it. Where were you?
Okay, well, you
Oh.
were, no, I was handing out handouts, so
I
you
have a
were,
portable sauna. if anybody's interested, right there.
and then y'all know how to make the lemonade. It's really easy. I don't know if any of you remember the tall African-American guy that was my big old brother, Cedric Glover. Well, he came to the classes faithfully back in the olden days. And he said he was having trouble with high blood pressure. He wanted more energy and everything, right? And so he came in the store and he says, okay, I want to get everything you said about that cleanse. I want to do that cleanse. So I said, okay, buy your 100% organic lemon juice, get your thing of grade B maple syrup, get your bottle of cayenne. You have water, right? He goes, yeah, I can get water. I said, okay. So get a gallon jug of water, and you can mix a whole gallon, because he was a big guy, and I figured he's not going to mix it more than once. So I said, do a whole gallon. Then you do a cup of lemon juice, a cup of maple syrup. You have to pour 2 cups out of the jug. Put a cup of maple syrup, a cup of lemon juice, and a teaspoon of cayenne in it. He's like, okay, that sounds pretty easy. I gave him the recipe, and he left. Well, he started coming to classes every week. And after about a couple months, he's like, do you think, I said, did you ever try that lemonade? No, I couldn't figure out how to mix it. I said, what? I said, it's not hard, Cedric. Bring them in. So the next night, I was at Katie's. He brought me the ingredients with his water. I poured out 2 cups. I took that lemon juice, poured a cup in there. I took that maple syrup, poured a cup in there. I took that teaspoon and put a teaspoon of cayenne in, and I shook it up. How hard was that? That looks easy. I go, why did you do it? I don't know. I just had this mental glitch. I couldn't do it. So if any of you want to do the fast and you cannot mix it, I will mix it for you. It's easy. So I mixed it, shook it up. I was going on vacation that next week. He worked on a ship. He had to go up and down those ladders on a ship and stuff. And he also was a realtor. He helped sell real estate. Super great guy. Prayer warrior. He's just an awesome brother in Christ. He's now passed away. But anyway, and he had high blood pressure. And he was trying all kinds of stuff, right? So he calls me while I'm in my vacation. Brenda, my blood pressure is normal. You should see me going up and down those ladders. I'm going to do this more often. And I said, you don't have to keep doing it for days and days, but if you want to, you can. But do it once a week. Cedric, it will help you once a week. And then he said, and then when he stopped fasting, his blood pressure started fluctuating again, because I think he was a fast food person. He tried to do well, but I think he did fast food. It has a lot of sugar and salt in it. So he did all that, right? But then I said, why don't you try trace minerals? So there's a company called Trace Minerals Research and has all these trace minerals. So I said, just start taking trace minerals. He started putting that in his water. Calls me a few days later, yep, my blood pressure's fine now. He was one of my students that was like, okay, so what's now? Like, did you not mix the drink? What now? Are you taking the trace minerals? What now? Are you exercising regularly? Are you breathing? Are you praying? Are you, and so he was just one of these ones that kept coming back. Are you following what I told you? I didn't mix it yet. What? So I'm just saying, you get all kinds, but he was such a kind heart soul. He's such a great guy. And I'm glad he's received benefits. So my story to you all, and you can say, well, that's anecdotal. I'll tell you what, I've had so much positive feedback from this master cleanse, more than any other cleanse I talked about. I've had so much wonderful feedback about, man, I really was depressed, but I started taking those B vitamins. I feel better, I kept getting colds. I'm taking that vitamin C. I feel better, so it's wonderful to get feedback like that. You folks have more to say about your health. How often do you see a doctor? Once a year.
Once a year.
For maybe 10 minutes if you're lucky, right? Not even less than that, more than, I don't know. Are they going to determine your health and your future? Do they know you? Do they know what you do each day? No, they don't know all of it. So remember, you vertically talking to God about it. I think I told you about my fluoride incident. Went to the dentist and they did a fluoride treatment. Even though I haven't done it in years, I never let my children get it, because fluoride's really toxic to the human body. It's not supposed to be used to clean your teeth. And all the research about it preventing cavities is a bunch of bull, if you look at the other side of the issue. So there's one school of thought, dentist-wise, that's this way, and there's another school of thought that wanted to go more natural, no mercury fillings, no fluoride, much safer and better for children. So I went and the doctor said, no, you have crowns now. Because I had a couple cracked teeth, flipping off bikes. I should have worn a mouth guard my whole life. Ice skating, roller skating. I've banged my jaw enough times. I've cracked teeth. Okay. So he said they're really cracked, and if we don't cover them, they could break apart, and it'll be hard to crown them. I said, okay, crown them. So over the course of several months, I got like 5 crowns. And he said, but because you have crowns now, there's this tight space between your gum line and here, and prone to cavities and all this, and you really should do the fluoride treatment. I said, no, I've heard negatives about it. I'm not sure. I have a heart murmur. I'm really careful what I take. And he's like, no, it's really no problem. You won't ingest it. It just goes in your mouth. Yeah. What? You're have sublingual blood vessels under here. Everything absorbs through your mouth. What are you talking about? So I'm sitting there going, okay, fine. So they just, the teeny little brush thing they do, and they just brush it. It is a low form of it, right? Dosage. So they brush my teeth with it, brush my mom's with it. And so 48 hours later, I'm laying in bed, and I have a functional heart murmur, meaning one of my valves was leaky my whole life. So I always notice things. Caffeine sets my heart off. Peanuts set my heart off. I just know certain things I can't take. Okay. So I'm laying in bed, and my heart just starts doing. It's going wild. And I'm laying there, and I said, oh my goodness. And I like tapped Bill. I thought I was going to die. It was that weird. I thought my heart was going into collapse or something. It was beating really weird, and I'm thinking, oh no, my heart is kicking in now really badly. What's going on? And I nudged him. I go, Bill, can you listen to my heart? Can you check my pulse? Something's wrong. So we got my mom's, we have a stethoscope and all that. So he listens to my heart, and it was still beating really funny, and just, and so I'm laying there and breathing, and going, don't panic, do your breathing, you know what to do. I drank some water, and I was saying, what is wrong with my heart? Early in the morning, God spoke to me. I talk to him all the time. Fluoride. What are you talking about? Fluoride's never done this before to me. Like, I've had fluoride treatments in the past. Never did it do that to my heart. I looked it up. Study after study. 48 hours of a fluoride treatment, even at a low dose, can cause this with your heart. Now, the doctor should have in my record that I have a heart murmur. Wouldn't you think, if I'm saying I really don't want the fluoride? Yeah, if you do, you might be sensitive to this. Let's not give you fluoride. I called him up. Listen, I had this situation. This is what happened to my heart. I cannot have fluoride. Put it in my records. And he goes, I've never heard that. I've done this to lots of people. I said, did anyone ever affiliate it with? It happened 48 hours later. Did they ever think it might have been the fluoride? I said, look, God told me what it was, but most people wouldn't know. I thought something was wrong with my heart. I was ready to go to the ER that night. And he's like, well, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I've never heard that before. And it's like kind of an arrogant attitude.
Yeah.
He didn't say, let me research it. I'm going to put this in your chart. I'm definitely going to warn other people with a heart murmur not to do it. Eventually down the road, because I really challenged him in a good way, like, check this out, research this is what happened to me, he signs me off with my mother. He signs us off as, well, I can't really help you anymore. No, because I challenged him, but he wouldn't even. Anyway, it was crazy. So he's no longer my dentist. I have another dentist. And I won't give his name because I'm not trying to slander him, but how ridiculous. A patient tells you 48 hours later, this is what happened to me. I am not psychosomatic. I don't believe I just have stuff. I really experienced it. My husband heard it too. And I'm telling you, I reacted to the fluoride treatment. You need to pre-qualify people before you give them fluoride treatment. So if he has any other patient that does that, calls them up, I hope they do. Oh, that's the second patient that told me that. Maybe there is a correlation. But I thought science was observable, right? If it's scientific, it's observable. I observed something that was scientifically proven. I had a reaction. So you need to be careful with other patients as well. So you want to be ignorant and not learn something new. But I love humble practitioners, don't you? I've never heard that before. What happened to you when you experienced that? I'm putting that in your chart. I'm notating that in my mind. If I have another patient with your condition, I'm going to tell them not to do this. Right? Anyway, all right. Let's have prayer. I know sometimes we got to teach them. We can make practitioners better practitioners. I made my teachers better teachers. Excuse me, that's not clear enough. Could you make your test clear? These were ambiguous questions. Excuse me, I didn't understand what you wanted. What was our assignment again? I asked all the questions. Drive my husband crazy? I was an straight A student. I figured it out. I figured out what my teachers wanted. I got the gist of it. I didn't, well, I'm not sure what they want, but I'm going to go home and do it. No, ask questions. Ask your practitioners questions. Tell them your symptoms. Write them down ahead of time if you're going to forget to tell them when you're in the office. Is your blood pressure going to go up? Yes. That's not your true blood pressure, especially if your blood pressure goes up under anxious moments. I was in medical school for PT, and guess what they told us when we were taking blood pressure? If a young lady has a really handsome guy come in and check her blood pressure, if a guy has a beautiful nurse come in and check his blood pressure, I'm telling you, you can be anxiety or excited goes up. So the top number goes up due to that. The bottom number tells the health of your blood vessels. So if it's 70 to 80 always, that's good, excellent. You know, but if your top number goes up and down, it's usually due to stress. Do your breathing. Take some of Melissa Rhodiola before you go in. Take your B vitamins. So again, just know that's who you are. And you are going to react to different situations. And so know. And also, you are your own best friend. Okay? Say that. I am my own best friend. right?
I am my own best friend.
Right. And listen to the Holy Spirit.
I like to give myself hugs.
And also, if you listen to the Holy Spirit and follow what the Holy Spirit tells you to do, don't eat that. Drink more water. Stop, drop, and pray before you get mad at that person in front of you, whatever. Listen to the Holy Spirit. It can bless your life so much. I've messed up so much because I've surged ahead of the Holy Spirit. I've gone through so much more heartache, but I haven't listened. Even the fluoride thing. I just said, no, I never do fluoride. I'm not doing fluoride. You can't talk me into it with your sweet smiling. It's okay. It's no problem. You won't absorb it. Look at these blood vessels. Under your tongue. It's absorbed instantly into your bloodstream. That's where they give you sublingual medicine and sublingual vitamins. They're absorbed instantly. Fluoride, instantly. Anyway, don't even get me started. All right, let's have prayer. Dear God, Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for everyone that's here now. And I pray that the portion of what they've learned would be a blessing to them for others. I pray they share what they learned on these notes. I pray all of us will continue to adopt healthy lifestyle habits. Getting a good night's rest, waking up and drinking our warm water with lemon or lime or just a large glass of warm water to just get our system hydrated before we even eat. Help those that want to try this cleanse to listen to their bodies, to do it appropriately and properly and get the nourishment they need to be blessed. Be with Lisa, God. I pray you will heal her from her stroke and Melvise as well. Bless them all in a mighty way, God. Bless Yuli as he ministers to patients and gently puts their arms on an x-ray machine. Be with his mom who's willing to help with our seminars and just be a blessing all around and a servant heart. Be with Bonnie and Wayne that faithfully serve in this church. Be with Linda and Shirley as sisters. May they encourage each other in good health and fitness from this day forward. Be with Sandy who came to help her mother. What a blessing it is that she can be here to visit with her around her birthday and just this time she has with her. I see the special bond they have and I'm so glad she's here, able to be here. Continue to bless all the people in this room, my dear friend Barbara, even Ronald and his beautiful wife, Jessamine. We pray, Lord, for you to bless her. We're glad to meet her finally. And we're so thankful that you have a plan for this church to continue to grow and grow and grow. Be with Bill and I as we minister, Lord. We need your help as we do these things. The devil walks about as a roaring lion, wanting to destroy us, discourage us, and make us feel bad. But Lord, you give us joy unspeakable. Be with Gina. I'm glad she got a Sabbath break, was able to come to these seminars. Bless her husband, Lord, as she cares for him. She needs a blessing, just like Charles caring for Melville Lee. She needs a blessing from God too, and a break sometimes so she can go out and have fun and not have to care for her husband 24/7. We're grateful her daughter and her husband sometimes help, but we just ask that you bless Gina and give her the break she needs. Help us to remember as caregivers that we need to take care of ourselves first. Bless all the families and loved ones in this church. Be with Pastor Cornell and his family as they travel north to Silver Springs. And may you open the door for our new pastor, Lord. We thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Yeah.